Sa website nila.
Referring to, or what may have come up in meetings
Meron.
with Chinese that could make the Philippines so. I think that the Philippines could be a bulwark against China's expansion in the South China Sea. That may be on the president's mind. But there again is an impulsivity to this, surprising his own national security team. We'll see what the internal pushback is. Duterte is an authoritarian bad guy on the world stage, and as transactional and as pragmatic as the president may want to be in dealing with North Korea and or China, separate issues, linked issues, again, he's got to remember a sense of the overall. The more he courts strongmen around the world is not a good trend for freedom-loving countries around the world in achieving things through our allies. We cannot cast aside traditional allies and rely upon strongmen. I'm not certain that the president really actually understands this if he's just looking from one deal to the next.
Maggie, what is it with his seeming affinity for Vladimir Putin? He has just said complimentary things, or at least, yeah, I think you'd have to call them nice things about Kim Jong-un. Is it that President Trump sort of wants credit for working with people that other people ostracized and couldn't work with?
I mean, I think it's yes to all of the above, and I don't think you can pull them out. I mean, I think what you just said, I think, is a big part of it. When you speak to people in the Trump administration, they will tell you, look, we are not going to do what the Obama White House did. Now, you can debate whether that's wise or not, but that is their approach. And so some of it is strategic, but some of it is also that, you know, we saw this throughout the campaign. The president has sort of a predilection for praising strength, and he doesn't make a distinction between whether that strength is used for good or bad purposes sometimes. You know, he praised and then insisted he didn't Saddam Hussein at one point for saying he killed terrorists. In fact, he was also considered a state sponsor of terrorism. And so I think that you are seeing sort of a continuation of a pattern. It's very hard to know with these calls whether it is that he is reaching out to these leaders with the goal in mind of saying, hey, come to the White House, please, or if that's something he does riffing on the fly during a prearranged call, and I just don't know that we're going to know.
So, Selena, traditionally you would shun or call out human rights abuses. That's what you would do. That is not what's being done now. Duterte is, of course, the latest and most egregious, because this is a man who kind of campaigns on his desire to kill drug dealers and tells crazy stories about how he's done it himself in the past. What is Trump's read on this, in your estimation?
Well, I mean, I think to Maggie's point, where, you know, she explained how President Trump likes to show that he makes relationships with people that President Obama wasn't able to. He talked at great length about the young woman, Aya, the human rights worker in Egypt, who he helped free. And he made a point that, you know, he said, look, President Obama wasn't able to do this for 3.5 years. I got it done in 10 minutes. And then he talked about the strength of President al-Sisi, who also faces a lot of criticism for his, you know, sort of strong arm governing. You know, when we discussed North Korea in our interview, he was very frustrated by what was going on with North